Her daughter, little Edie, will often ask her questions about her aunt and uncle, and Big Edie will tell her daughter everything. Understanding that her mother missed her brother and sister, little Edie did the best she could to calm her mom down. And of course, this was when Big and little Edie got into a lot of fights. And these fights were particularly started by the humans who were running Manticore Island. They had Big and little Edie do a lot of fights, causing them to get all scarred up. With Big Edie mainly in charge of those fights. Because she didn't want her daughter to get hurt. And it wasn't before long until they were completely all scarred up. Meanwhile, back with Rexy, she grew up completely alone, not knowing where her brother and sister were at. Eventually, she finally met someone. After the events of Jurassic Park, Rexy spent half of her life completely alone and scared. Mainly, she was scared for her brother and sister and not knowing where they were at. Completely unaware that she had a nephew and niece. She spent days on trying to figuring out how to find them. And she even completely forgot to ask the humans where they took her brother and sister. But eventually, Rexy came to the realization that the humans can't understand them. And of course, Rexy was now, I'm sorry, I can't speak. Was for now on the last T-Rex on Isla Sorna. Not Isla Sorna, Isla Nublar. Completely unaware that her brother and sister were parents and on different islands where different dinosaurs were living at. And so Rexy was alone. That was until the events of Jurassic World happened. Now this is where things get a little interesting. The Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3 and Bull Rex, along with Rexy's mate, they got transported to Isla Nublar. When this happened, Jurassic World officially began. However, the humans were afraid that if they put two T-Rexes in with Rexy, they had no idea how she'd react because she spent her life completely alone. Now, during the events of Jurassic World, at the end of the movie, Rexy was lured out by Claire and was brought out to fight the Indominus Rex, alongside with her best friend, Blue. However, Indominus Rex decided that she had enough games, and almost killed Rexy and Blue if it weren't for the help of her first mate. He showed up and saved Rexy. He broke out completely by himself, along with Bull, Rex, and the Spino. And of course, Rexy fell in love when she saw her first mate. For a few years, the two were dating, until one time they got into a fierce argument and they broke up. Rexy ended up having a relationship with Bull Rex, the T-Rex that appeared in Jurassic Park 3. She ended up having a relationship with him instead. However, something tragic happened to him, and that was he was killed by the Spinosaurus. Rexy was furious. She got into a fierce battle with the Spino, until when she was about to kill him, she decided to let him live because she saw scars of what her mate left behind. And because of this, Rexy decided to spare the Spino's life. The Spino was very grateful for Rexy's act of kindness. Therefore, he now completely submitted to Rexy being the queen of the dinosaurs. Despite him being stronger and having experience on killing T-Rexes back on Isla Sorna, he actually liked Rexy and called her a friend. So don't expect a lot of Spinosaurus and Rexy shippers, even though I absolutely hate that ship and it makes no goddamn sense. Anyways, moving on. Eventually, Rexy hanged out with Blue a lot. She and Blue were best friends. And Blue was the only real friend that Rexy ever had, despite Rexy having a bad experience with velociraptors. But this velociraptor was different. And not only that, this velociraptor actually liked Rexy. So for years, the two remained close friends. Rexy did got a few visits from the Spino, until the events of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom took place. Oh, and Rexy did met the campers, by the way, and dealt with the Tarbosaurus. In case you guys were wondering. Anyways, moving on. During the events of Fallen Kingdom, Rexy and Blue, along with the Spino and her old mate, were taken away from their home island after it was erupting. During this time, they ran into Toro, the Carnotaurus. Rexy and Blue decide to help out Toro, and together the three of them got off the island, peacefully, until they got captured again, and put in cages again. Rexy hated the humans for constantly putting her in a cage. Blue kept on telling her that not all humans were bad, and there are some that are good. Rexy found that hard to believe, and she told Blue about her brother and sister. Now they were taken away from her by humans. Rexy wanted absolute proof if the humans were truly good, as if Blue said. Blue did agree that not all humans were good. Anyways, during this time, Blue ran into Indoraptor while trying to look for Owen. And at first, Blue wanted to kill Indoraptor, but eventually she didn't know why, but there was something a part of her that wanted to spare Indoraptor. Something in her told her to spare Indoraptor. And it was here that Blue realized that she actually fell in love with Indoraptor. And here's where basically Blue decided to become Indoraptor's little mate. And it was there and then he decided to tag along with Blue and Rexy and Toro. Anyways, they reunited with the Spinosaurus, and eventually they met Grim, Baryonyx, and they met the Allosaurus, and of course, her hunter, the Metrocanthosaurus. And it was then that Indoraptor discovered that Dr. Wu was creating more hybrid dinosaurs. More dinosaurs to hurt people. And Indoraptor wanted to protect people. And so, Rexy decided to name their little group the Hybrid Hunters. Or the Hybrid Killers, or whatever.